Now, back to G.I. Joe.
Welcome to another episode of Retro Comic Reviews. We're going to review this is our own. We're going to do other comics, but we're still going to review issues 1 through 155. This is going to take like 3 years. I don't care. We're going to do it of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero from Marvel Comics, 1980s to like 1992, I think, or 94 is when it ended. And today, we will be reviewing G.I. Joe issue 4. And before there we go. There's Jeff's got the compendium. I don't have a copy of this one. I have it in the mail, but it's not here yet. So, but Jeff read it through that, and I read it online, so it's all good. So before we get into this issue, I will show you the key players of this issue for the G.I. Joe team. The main team will be these 3 guys, and their other guys will just be kind of making appearances. Although I think Scarlet just makes a cover appearance. But yeah, we got Commander Hawk, Clayton M. Abernathy, grade 06 from Denver, Colorado. Then we have Grunt from Columbus, Ohio, who's the E4. And as you'll find out, Grunt was not too enthused that he got picked for this one at the time. He's a highly motivated, systematic individual. He's a stand-up guy who doesn't blow his cool in a firefight. And, of course, you got to have a commando on your team. So Snake Eyes will be there. We don't know anything about Snake Eyes except that he's a grade E5. Everything else is classified. But anyway, there you go. His primary.
We'll start to get a glimpse into how valuable he is in this issue.
That's right. And then the sideline players are Stalker,
Stud.
We see briefly. Rock and Roll. Short Fuse, who has kind of an integral part, him and Zap.
Yep.
We got Stalker.
Hey, you said that twice.
Oh, Scarlet. Well, he's so cool, said it twice.
That's right. He deserves it.
And Zap. Zap is in this issue as well. And he's from New York City. Okay, we didn't really read him last time, so we'll go over it. His name was Rafael Melendez, primary military specialist engineer, secondary military specialty infantry, artillery. He was born in New York City. He's a grade E4. He has advanced infantry training, qualified expert in M14, M16, M1911A1, M79 grenade launcher, M72 law rocket, XM71A tow missile, XM47 Dragon missile. Zap is the fun-loving type. He's cool under fire. The stuff he works on could blow up at any time. And I think we didn't really go over Short Fuse that well, but he's from Chicago, Illinois. He's an E4.
Another artillery guy.
Yeah, another artillery guy. He's trained on all the same things, including the M1 81 millimeter medium mortar and the M2 60 millimeter light mortar. And he also says Short Fuse is logical and sensitive, has a tendency to blow his stack, hence the name Short Fuse. So there you go. And I guess we'll go ahead without any further ado, and we'll bring it up here. This is, of course, G.I. Joe issue 4 from 1982, back when they were 60 cents, by the way. Here's the cover. And as Jeff pointed out, I can't remember, it's Al Milgrom cover.
Yep.
And it looks like Stalker is getting ready is shooting a Snake Eyes in the back. And it also looks like this guy behind Scarlet is going to shoot her in the ankle.
Yeah, we got some perspective problems going on here.
Yeah, but it looked cool, right? So they thought, well,
yeah,
what the heck?
For kids.
And Scarlet looks hot as usual. All right. So Stanley presents G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, script by Larry Hama, plot and art by Herb Trimpe, John D'Agostino, and Jack Abel inked it. Diane Albers lettered. George Russo's colored it. Tom DeFalco was the editor. And of course, this time, Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief at Marvel. This is called Operation Wingfield. So we get this guy here. He's got a patch on his hat that says "Strike First," and he says, "Listen up, troops. This is your weapon. Your weapon, nomenclature Mach 16. It's a 5.56 millimeter semi and fully automatic magazine-fed, gas-operated, shoulder-fired infantry weapon. You will learn to love it."
Look at that mustache.
Yeah, I know. Look at this stash. He got a porn stash. That's a 1930s bad guy mustache. But you first will learn to respect it. So you see here, this is volume 1 of G.I. Joe Real American Hero, issue 4, October 1982, published by Marvel Comics Group. So here we got these guys, and they're obviously not in military uniforms. I think that's why they use this coloring, Jeff. So, these are not, and also they're not really doing what military would do. It says, first, file by the numbers, proceed down range, taking evasive action on the double, move it out, 1. And then here talking with some other people, says, I don't know about this, Vance. These recruits are too green. They've only been here training for a week. And he says, your wife's right, Commander Wingfield. Commander Wingfield, using live ammo at this stage is too dangerous. He says, you're out of line, Carruthers. And Sherry, when I want your opinion, I'll ask for it. Ooh. I'm not here to wet nurse and gaggle of panty waste. He counts to 2 and you're rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. Zing, zing. Hits this guy in the ankle. 3, move it out, move it out. Yeah, I'm hit. And he says, I think the bone is shattered, that he needs hospital treatment. And he goes, no. He knew the risk when he joined us. He'll have to make do with field dressing and some aspirin. What the hell?
That's the Marine Corps.
No, this is not the Marine Corps. I think the Marine Corps is a doctor.
No, they would.
And they got these.
That's a running joke in the Marine Corps. You can walk up with your arm in your hand, say, "I got my arm blown off." They'd be like, "Here's ibuprofen and some water."
Yeah, I think this group is like a paramilitary group that's being funded by Cobra.
It's him. Yeah. They're backed by Cobra, and this guy's training them all up, and it's a bunch of recruits.
Here, I've been entrusted with the near impossible task of teaching these people how to survive. But first, they'll have to learn to be hard as me. I think I see an out of context panel in the future, Jeff.
Yeah.
Stop the projector. Let's have some lights in here. So what we find out is this is not actually happening. This is a video that the G.I. Joes are watching. So Commander Hawk says, quiet down, Joes. Pay attention. The footage you've just seen was shot by the FBI during a routine covert surveillance. There's a lot of words in this issue too, by the way.
Yeah, this one's a reedy one.
So General Flagg and the Pentagon, got wind that Commander Wingfield and his self-styled strike force paramilitary freaks are secretly funded by international terrorist organization, possibly Cobra. That makes them our responsibility. And then Grunt's like, I don't know which one it is. He goes, they sound like a bunch of overgrown Boy Scouts playing soldier.
Yeah.
And then I think this is Zap says, Hawk, I think it's Hawk. He says, you want us to go Zap and go in, take away their guns and spank them? So they're not concerned about it. They're like kind of, these guys are just a bunch of dunce. And Hawk says, don't underestimate these jokers. Their base in Montana was built to withstand a full frontal assault. And if Cobra's supplying them, they're bound to have some impressive weaponry. Our job is to go in and uncover and ascertain the degree of Cobra involvement. So Stalker says, well, who's going to be the decoy for this one? And Grunt's kind of like trolling Stalker, like, well, that sounds like your specialty, Ranger. Besides, you enjoy camping out in the woods with furry animals. So, but then Hawk says, for this mission, we'll use a 2-man insertion team with a 3rd man on the outside. Snake Eyes will be the backup man, and I'll be number 1 man on the insertion team, and Grunt will be number 2. And then Stalker looks at him and says, well, have fun with the furry animals, Grunt. He's like, nuts. So then we go here. He says, let's go. I want your gear packed and ready to go in 10 minutes. Get the lead. And then he goes here, the lead out. This is where they infiltrate the group. They're going to join this paramilitary group. I want you unpacked. And I like the way they transition here, right? He's going over this, and it's the same kind of lingo. These guys are trying to be like the Army. Hey,
Yeah.
I already went through Grunt's like I already went through basic training. Well, you're going through it again today. Commander Wingfield will address the new recruits at 1500 hours on the button. And then here Grunt says, Hawk, some of the new recruits brought their wives and kids with them. And then Hawk says, well, apparently Wingfield encourages it. When you have power over a man's family, you have power over the man. And you know what? This may be a comic book, Jeff, but that's very true.
Yeah.
So then at 1,500 hours. So what he's doing is these guys don't really like it. Well, you're stuck here now. You're going to be our cannon fodder because we got your family.
Yep.
Fellow survivors, you have taken the first important step towards ensuring the continued existence of our families. I congratulate you. You may have felt that this first step, the relocation and the cutting of old ties, was difficult. Well, I assure you, the second step, your training, will be far more difficult. This guy's acts like a real hard ass, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It must be to fully prepare you for the most honorable third step, the grim reality of survival after the total collapse of civilization. Your training commences promptly at 0600 hours tomorrow. So basically, these guys are kind of like these militias that are wanting there to be like a war, like a civil war in the States. What comes to mind is they're in Montana. And I think you think Larry Hama may have been reading about Ruby Ridge or something?
Who knows? But people, there's always groups like this that they want the end of days to come because they think they're prepared.
Yeah, a lot of guys that probably weren't in the military, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It says right here that Captain Crothers will now march you over to the to the quartermaster's shed for field gear and uniform issue. And so Grunt was telling Hawk, he goes, do you see that building with the ventilators over the roof? That must be the ammo dump or armory. Big fans like that are used to vent off fumes for the high explosives. So they're already kind of like doing some surveillance here. So then it says 2,300 hours that night. It says the entire camp is enclosed by a hurricane fencing topped with number 2 barbed wire. There's a reinforced guard tower at every corner, another at the main gate, and one more overlooking the airstrip. Did you pace off the intervals between the floodlight masts? One every 50 yards, all around the perimeter. Good. We'll run a beacon tomorrow, or run a recon tomorrow night. Now let's sack out. So 0600 the next day, move out. So the commander's already like, I want to see you boys heels and elbows. And then they're doing an obstacle here. It's like, keep moving, stop while exposed like that in a firefight, and you're a dead man. And he's like, get your face out of the mud. Get your face down in that mud, trooper. Mud washes off. Bullet holes don't. Don't look back. Don't look down. And don't stop to help your buddy. If he slips and falls, it's thundering will draw enemy fire and give the patrol time to get away. So that's one thing they don't teach you in the Army, though, right?
No.
Maybe in basic training, but not like. So they're doing the pugil stick thing. My dad was actually the pugil stick champion of Camp Pendleton in his class at the Marine Corps boot camp.
Nice.
So he's like harder, and he was smaller than most of them, so he just figured out a way to knock them up, knock them down. Yeah, it's like attack like you mean it. And then Hawk's like telling Grunt, he's like, take it easy. We don't want to look too good at this. And Grunt says, sorry, Hawk, I'll try to do worse. But they're acting like they're doing so great, but then you see what Snake Eyes says here in a minute.
Yeah.
He says, keep up the pace, 5 more laps around the perimeter wire before breakfast. And I always call him Duke, but it's Hawk. We'll check out the armory at 2,300 hours tonight. These other guys are really out of shape. And Grunt says, yeah, we're holding back as much as we can without being obvious, and we're still leading the pack. So then we go out to a shot, and we got the binoculars, and we got back here, we got Snake Eyes, and he's right. Since Snake Eyes is at the top, but we can see his thoughts right here, which is really cool. More about him. So this is Snake Eyes recon report. 45 hours. I observed Hawk and Grunt pretending to be clumsy and slow in a most unconvincing manner. Too well guarded, perimeter too well guarded for daylight penetration. Weakest link in the fence is portion of fence directly below flood lamp masts. 4 aircraft on landing strip. These F-86 Sabre jet fighters and 1 fighter apparently undergoing radio repairs. And he says here also we find they have an old B-52 Super Fortress. It's one B-29 Super Fortress heavy bomber, primitive, but is well within nuclear delivery capacity. Must infiltrate and confirm nuclear capability. Will penetrate perimeter tonight. So, of course, he's going to do a little sneak and peek, they call it. Because that's what Snake Eyes is best at. And he goes, and here's Snake Eyes again, riding 2,300 hours. Route of entry will be at weakest point. Will coordinate wire cutting with highest levels of nocturnal insect noise. Must memorize location of entryway to facilitate withdrawal. Will I can't remember what that says right there. Fence posts between lines. Main objective: location of nuclear device or devices, if any. Then he says, let's see, so I can't read that part. Unless circumstances yield
more profitable intelligence.
So this is the first time we get a mention of a town called Springfield, Jeff.
Yeah.
Which is Cobra's town. So why is Springfield calling a meeting so late at night?
No. It's why is Wingfield.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah,
so why is Wingfield the commander? I'm sorry. I had that on my brain. I think that's actually the first person that's in the next issue, I think. So why is Springfield calling a meeting so late at night?
Wingfield.
Yeah, Wingfield. Must be important. He only invited the top cadre. And there, meanwhile, we got Hawk and Grunt sticking out. All clear, Grunts. Let's go. All clear, Grunt. Let's go. He said, we'll take the long way to the armory. It's over the most, it's got the most cover. And he said, hey, what's going on in the HQ building? He's like, it's some kind of meeting, officers and top honchos. Only it's got to be big. Should we? No, we continue on to the armory, although he shouldn't have been yelling like that. But anyway, no, we continue on to the armory. Snake Eyes has got this covered. And you know what? You can tell they're really not worried because they got Snake Eyes has their back.
Yeah.
So it's like another example earlier on. Go ahead.
They actually didn't. I don't even think they needed to get out of their bunks if they knew that Snake Eyes was crawling around doing his thing. Them getting up and trying to sneak around and shit just added to the chance of them getting busted. But that's not a lot of mine.
So at ease, please be seated, gentlemen. You hear him talking inside the. He's talking to them. You hear the guy inside Wingfield saying, "We have come to an impasse, gentlemen. Our activities here have attracted the attention of various government agencies, all of whom consider us to be an embarrassment. Our very will to survive and our efforts to that end have roused the ire of the powers that be. They're spying on us even now, conspiring to stamp us out. We must abandon all pretense of defense, gentlemen. We must launch our offensive. Offensive? Impossible. Not impossible, gentlemen. The technicians from Cobra who installed the silent alarm system that guard our armory have also provided us with 2 nuclear warheads. So here's the plan. The warhead, one warhead will be flown at treetop level in a B-29 to Vladivostok in Russia. Yep. Once the bomb is detonated on Russian soil, the Russians will retaliate immediately. The United States will then launch its counterattack as soon as it detects the Russian first wave in flight. In effect, World War III will have started. He goes, after the swine have wiped each other out, we shall emerge from our well-stocked, fortified shelters beneath this compound to rebuild a new world in our image. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So, same old crap from these people. There says the second warhead is buried under our camp in a location known only to Carruthers, my wife, and me. I can arm it and set the detonator timer by remote control. Once set, only I can disarm it. If our bombing attempt on Vladivostok fails, we are utterly doomed. Both governments will track us to the ends of the earth. However, if we detonate the bomb here in Montana, the United States will have to assume that the Russians have opted for a retaliatory strike. And although we will perish in the first blast, the scum that persecute us shall join us in a blast that follows. You know, one thing about this story, they don't really tell you what their complaints with the U.S. government is, though.
Or the world, period.
I know they're like trying to. I mean, and they really think that like if they do one bomb and we do a counterattack, that's going to be the end of it. I mean, not really. So in the armory, Hawk and Grunt are in there. They go, you suppose they got anything in there besides some surplus M16s and a few boxes of grenades? And Hawk says, with Cobra supplying them, they've got to have some heavy hardware, maybe some 50 caliber MGs, a few dozen M60 mortars, and he goes, whoa, they must have had a sale on tanks at the Cobra job lot. He says, that's no bargain basement armor. Those are T-60E, the state-of-the-art in tank technology, until the M1 Abrams came out. The state-of-the-art in the tank technology, I will lay you 2-to-1 odds that those babies rolled off the assembly line of the People's Heavy Farm Machinery Factory in East Leningrad. So I thought these guys were special forces, but this guy trips a wire right away. You think the Russians are behind this, Hawk? No way. Ivan wouldn't give these what does he call them?
Let's see. Ivan wouldn't give these dolts
to their best buddies. This deal smells like Cobra all the way.
No, it does say dolls because it's the cutting edge tanks.
Oh, okay. It says, full alert. Something's triggered the silent alarm in the armory. Cadre leaders, have your troops fall out silently and don't issue weapons. Okay. Our perimeter is too secure for this to be anything but an inside job. We don't want to arm anybody we can't trust. So Snake Eyes catches wind of the jig is up.
Yep.
Surround the armory. Secure the exits and windows. First platoon in through the front door. And remember, I want prisoners in condition to answer questions. You hear that, Grunt? Yeah, they're gonna go light on us. It's like maybe we ought to pull our punches too. And he's like, ha. So they're taking these guys out because there's too many of them, Hawk. No room to swing. Then clear the area and let's get down to some serious knuckle dusting. You got it, Hawk. He just tosses this guy like a lawn dart.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like the action. Like that's the old school kind of action.
Yeah,
motion.
the action lines.
10 minutes later, look, they just beat the crap out of these guys for about 10 minutes. Commander Wingfield, the intruder, put a dozen of our men out of commission, but we finally subdued them. Do you want to interrogate them now? And then Wingfield's like, nah, that would be fruitless. These specimens are obviously very hard. The opposition has seen fit to send in their best. Take them out to the hole and dispose of them. This drastically alters the situation. I'm forced to move up our schedule considerably. Sherry, actuate Plan Alpha. Carruthers, suit up and report to the airfield. So then at the communication shed, here goes Snake Eyes in there. And he takes out the radio operator. And, of course, he doesn't speak, so he starts tapping out the Morse code there. And then we see Breaker back here, I think, or Zap. He's like, G.I. Joe Command Center, reading you loud and clear, Snake Eyes. Things must be pretty bad there if you're the one that's calling for help. And then back in Montana, I'll be nice of them to let us live until sunrise. It's a military tradition, Grunt, like the blindfold and the last cigarette. That's enough for you to walk to the edge of the hole and don't turn around. He says, well, so much for tradition. And then Snake Eyes drops out from the tree and takes the two guards out. And that's one tradition I like, the last minute rescue. Snake Eyes could have saved us at any time. He just wanted to see us sweat.
They should have just let Snake Eyes do his damn job.
Yeah. The three men compare notes, and then they see the B-29 taking off. Hey, the bomber's taking off. According to Snake Eyes, that thing's carrying a nuclear warhead, and it's on bombing run to Russia. Uh-oh. I'm going, they say, Grunt says, I'm going to the airfield to see what I can do about chasing down that bomber You and Snake Eyes get back to the armory and keep an eye on Wingfield. Or is that Hawk that ran off? I don't know.
It was Hawk that ran off.
Okay. It looks pretty quiet. Always a bad sign. I'll go out and draw their fire. You circle around back and take a quick look-see. So Grunt runs forward. He goes, give me 2 signal shots, and I'll lay down cover fire for you. Your withdrawal. 3 shots will be the signal. Hold fire. And he goes, it gets started. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat.
You know, it's just a little thing, though. I know it's a comic book, but you know how long it would take a B-29 to fly from Montana to Vladivostok?
A long, long time.
20 to 25 hours.
Yeah, because that was the closest. That was close. That's what I get for talking while sneaking. And you hear that Commander Wingfield say, "He's behind that rock, machine gunners. Lay down a field of fire." And you get more rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. He says, "Hurry up, Snake Eyes. This rock's not going to last much longer. Not with that pounding." And he goes, "Sherry, Plan Alpha is now in effect. You were prepared to arm the women and children in the first sign of a full assault."
Oh,
and
God.
She's kind of having second thoughts now. He's like,
yeah.
The children too?
Yeah, he's off
Man,
his rocker.
Plan Alpha was purely theoretical. In this outfit, everyone fights. So these guys lost his damn mind.
Yeah.
So you hear pow, pow, pow. Those shots, 3 shots. Why does Snake Eyes want me to hold my fire? Because there's kids in there.
Yeah.
At the airfield, you hear him go, "This will hurt you a lot more than it hurts me." So he knocks out another guy. He goes, this is Hawk. Tanks are full and the guns are loaded. Now, if I could only remember how to fly one of these things.
Because that's an F-86 Sabre, and that's why I was telling you, man, this does remind me of the 80s, because this is 1982 that's being written. And an F-86 Sabre was a still viable fighter jet in the United States Air Force, even though we had access to the F-14 Tomcat, F-15 Eagle, and stuff like that.
And this is obviously like surplus or something from another country.
Yeah, exactly.
No one started the jet, they say. That was red line for radio repair, so he's got no radio in it. And they say he's getting away, so he won't be able to contact anybody. Says, break, this is G.I. Joe Team Leader Hawk, requesting a break on this frequency for emergency transmission. And he goes, "Bats. The radio's stone cold dead. There's no way to get help or signal the bomber to turn back. The nearest strategic target is Vladivostok. High over the Pacific coast of Canada. Commander Wingfield, this is Carruthers. Have you just passed Vancouver and I've just passed Vancouver and am on course for a primary target. Proceed. There's no way he could have got to Vancouver by then. Proceed as directed, but be prepared to take evasive action. The opposition have commandeered one of our aircraft. They are aware of your destination." And then he got back here to Grunt and Snake Eyes. He goes, "Snake Eyes, you made it back. I'm sort of glad that nuclear warhead is on a fast plane traveling away from me and not sitting here with us in Montana." He goes, "Uh-oh, I don't like that look. You just flashed me. What does it mean?" "It means there's another one." And this is like, he goes, "This is too much like a duck shoot."
And it
All
is.
I can do is bracket my shots on the fuel tanks and engines and give him the option to bail out if he wants it.
Yep.
And you're jump, Carruthers. He's trying to get him to jump. Like, "Oh, come on, man. Jump." He doesn't. He dives right into the other.
Yep.
He was going to go down with a plane. So they got rid of one threat. But here you go. Here's Wingfield, the nut.
Yeah.
He goes, "Transmission line."
Here's Timu Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. "To our bombers just went dead. They've shot down Carruthers. We're finished." "Vance, you're not going to." "Shut up, Shari. I know what I'm doing." He says, "I'm activating the remote timer. We shall see this through to the end of honor and dignity befitting Wingfield. You're crazy. I don't know what you're babbling about, but I'm taking my kid and walking out of this madhouse." "No. I'll brook no. I'll brook no desertions at our greatest hour. Let's go, Terry." And he pulls a gun out and he's like, "Fool, you're undermining the integrity of our final gesture. 10 minutes from now, nothing will matter anymore. I have no reason not to shoot you. 10 minutes. What are you talking about? Trust me, in 10 minutes, everything will be resolved. You're Sherry, back me up. But I don't think Sherry's going to back him up.
Nope.
Don't worry, Vance. I know what to do. There it is. The Ranger will touch down right in front of the main door. She pulls her gun out. Then you go back here. He goes, "There's Grunt, Snake Eyes. They'll take that. They'll take the point with me. You're calling it, Ranger." And she pulls the gun out, aims it. Then you hear the GI Joes go, "Move out, Joes. We're going in." Yep. And then when you're blam, blam, she shoots him in the back.
Yep.
And then the Joes pop in and they're like, "Everyone freeze. Drop your weapons and assume the position now." Hawk, we're here. Hawk, where were you? We thought, I just burned out a jet engine getting back here, Ranger. Drop the gun, Miss Wingfield. It's all over. You don't know how right you are. What do you mean? Before you arrived, my husband activated a 10-minute timer on a nuclear warhead buried under those ammo cases. He was the only one who knew how to deactivate it. It's impossible. Lady, that word doesn't exist where we come from. Just show us where the bomb's buried. So he sounds a lot like Jack Burton right there, doesn't he? All right, then he goes,
"Checks in the mail."
Yeah. Here at the bottom of this shaft, Ranger tells Zap to bring his demolitions kit up here now. This control on the remote box will raise the warhead to our level. Zap, it's your show now. So they bring in Zap, one of the demo experts. He says, "You've got exactly 5 minutes." Oh, no pressure. No pressure. All right. So he goes, "You got Zap." He's like, "This is a standing Type 4, standing Type 7 warhead with a simple spoke and hub detonator. Give me a hand with the nose cover there, Snake Eyes." He says the hub contains a U-235 and is held in position by 4 springs loaded spokes. Four spring loaded spokes. If it drops, we get critical mass and one mucho big bang. Grunt, it's your job to hold on to that hub and keep it from dropping. While I torch through the spokes. He says, "You got any M160 ammo?" "I got it, Zap. I'm through the first spoke. Already, Grunt." There goes number 2. 3, I like how they do this too. Look, like it's sweating and it gets closer to his face. 4, it's slipping, Zap. "You can do it, Grunt. You've got to do it, man." I'm getting.
I bet you I'd find the strength for sure.
Yeah. What's in this thing? How can such a little gizmo be so heavy? All that's inside is a chip of U-235.
Surrounded by steel.
Yeah, the size of a chiclet. The rest of it is solid lead and molybdenum chrome alloy steel bonded with. Lighten up to the sights, lecture Zap. Man, Grunt, about to save the world from glowing in the dark. I ain't saying nothing unless you two cut me some slack and give me enough elbow room to lift this detonator away. Way to go, champ. Later, good work, Grunt. The tech boys from Aberdeen checked out the warhead. They told me that its shielding was intact and you don't have to worry about decontamination or radiation poisoning. Well, that's a relief, Hawk. The techs also told me that the timer on the detonation was running fast. It only had 3 seconds left to go.
Oh,
when you clear. Damn. You'll sheesh.
Dirty.
I'll bet those locals are just sure glad we did our job. And then you see the locals drive by and they go, "Well, Clem, looks like they moving in some real soldier boys up to the old Wingfield place. Yeah, liquor prices are going to go up, and the sheriff will be setting his high-speed trap again. Best be keeping a close eye on your women folk too." And then we get a preview of what's going to be called issue 5. It says next issue, tanks for the memories. Enough said.
Enough said.
And then I wanted to share this. This is like the first post box to Pitt. And there's a couple of cool letters there. It goes, thanks for G.I. Joe #1. The Hasbro toy was a big part of our childhood in the 60s, and I've been saddened by all the flack, patriotism, and pride in our nation's armed forces has taken since then. I'm not a member of our armed forces, but I think everyone should have a great amount of respect for those who wear our country's uniform. Your series has potential to bring back some pride in ourselves and our strength as a nation. I commend you for this worthy project and excellent ideas behind it.
Yep.
And it's right here. We got, Dear Tom, G.I. Joe #1 was good on all counts. Much better than I expected and well worth the $1.50. We've seen many incarnations of the G.I. Joe character, and I expect this to be like the others. I was wrong. The best movie you made was not having any one character named G.I. Joe, but leaving that as the team's name. Some people undoubtedly criticize you and say that this mag is just S.H.I.E.L.D. with a new name, finding a new version of Hydra. Your hardest task will be proving them wrong. Suggestion: delve deeper into the backgrounds of each member. There is much that needs to be revealed. Like, for instance, why Snake Eyes doesn't talk. Art-wise, I love the issue. I haven't been one of Herb Trippe's greatest fans, but his pencils on this issue and Don Perlin on the hot potato story were great. I wish you continued success with this title. Anthony R. Cardino, 236 Center Drive, Mohopac, New York. And this is the other one I want to do. This is it. G.I. Joe is one of the best new comics Marvel has released. You got that right, kid.
Yep.
Right up there with Marvel, Fanfare, and Team America. Well, he got that one wrong. Herb Trippe and Bob McLeod make a great team. I also like the new exciting weaponry and that new enemy Cobra. Wow, what a comic. Edward Fields, no address given, Wadesboro, North Carolina.
Hell yeah, Edward. And I just got to say, that I get it. They're saying thanks Tom DeFalco, thanks editor, da. And that's true. But let's be honest, folks. Thank you, Larry Hama. Thank you, Larry Hama. Because his fingerprints are all over this stuff.
And here's a preview of the next issue. G.I. Joe issue 5, featuring blazing combat in Central Park.
Now we got some Joes manning a it looks like a Mobat.
Yeah,
we got some Cobra soldiers on the run. It's getting better.
So there you go. That was so what do you think?
I love it. It's a good start. I wasn't real thrilled about issue 3, but it was all right. Got through it. This was a fun story. I enjoyed it. We had nuclear weapons. Like you said, we had some sweating going on about getting that nuke defused. And you show that Hawk, and you Hawk kind of shows the spirit of G.I. Joe, that they're not just bloodthirsty knuckle dragging special forces soldiers that want to shoot and kill everything they see. They're highly trained special trained professionals that want to get the job done and save lives and not spill blood. That's why he was, thinking, come on, man, punch out. Once he shot him in the engine, he's like, punch out, jump. You didn't jump, and I kind of got the feeling like he regretted that the guy didn't jump out.
Yeah. Well, also we're getting kind of a more of a dynamic of what this team's like. More of what how badass Snake Eyes is.
Yes.
And like I like that they're kind of setting it all up just what to get in the first 3 or 4 issues, and we'll probably get more of that in issue 5. And also like the fact that I like the letter at the end with the guy. He kind of predicted the future. He goes, you need to delve into more of these people's backstory, and that's what this comic book was all about. You get to know these characters and love them. We get to learn more about Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander's backstory. The intro, the first appearance of Destro will be in the. I think it's way on down the line a little bit more.
A little bit down the line.
But we had Baroness already show up in issue 1.
Yeah.
But Destro's kind of in the shadows right now. It's kind of what he does anyway. Yeah. And but we get like a bunch.
Destro's actually supposed to be an arms dealer. He's not necessarily 100% Cobra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cobra's his best customer, and him and Baroness are a thing, and Baroness is part of Cobra. So
He's part
Kind
of
of makes him Cobra.
He's kind of like, the notorious thing guy trying to impress a lady, of course.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's I guess this this video premiere tomorrow. Although they don't know when we're recording it, so I guess I shouldn't say that. But I give it a few thumbs up. Yo Joe,
Yep.
Another great intro, and I can't wait to get further onto these stories when it starts getting. Because most of these have been like one-shot stories for the most part, but we're getting ready to get into the more like episodic, like storytelling that Larry Hama was known for on this series. That'll be coming up. But we got to build the background of these characters, and we got a lot of G.I. Joes to introduce to over this course. It's going to be a exciting adventure. There's a lot of great things happen. Another one of my favorite storylines will be in the 30s and 40s. Is of Ripcord and his girlfriend Candy. I don't know if you may remember. If you don't remember that, you'll remember it. And also, I'm very excited when we get to the 70s for the Cobra Island battle, because it's one of the best stories that was ever told. That and a lot of the Snake Eye stuff is great, and the stuff with Cobra Commander's son. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, even the next 10 to 15 issues, we start to have a lot more fun.
Yeah, there's a lot more fun coming up. This is a great 4-issue run of introducing the team and their nemesis Cobra. We got a glimpse of it issue 3 and issue 1, and not so much in issue 2. But what you find out is also G.I. Joe. It's also have to deal with other things too, like they do with special missions. They don't always have to deal with just Cobra. Yeah. So they take on all kinds of threats that the normal military can't take, kind of like SEAL Team 6 or the Delta Force will do. Yep. But now you know about G.I. Joe issue 4. You know what they say about that, right, Jeff?
Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
So thanks for watching, guys, and yo, Joe.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.